Ready to start this regular council meeting of Monday, December 2nd.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, roll call is
Mayor Laughlin.
here.
Councilperson Ellison. Here. Pierce, absent. Miller, absent. Goodweiler.
Here.
And Stillman.
Here. Oh, yeah, roll call twice. Okay. We have no guest speakers, so we will public comment. If anyone is here and wants to address the council, we'd love to hear what you have to say. Hearing none, we're going to move on to the agenda, the consent agenda. Item H, so I need a motion to approve the minutes of the last council meeting of November 18th. The 2020 regular meeting schedule, that's a regular council meeting schedule. The Christmas past special event application that Melissa filled out. A motion to approve the part-time employment of Levi Kleinmeyer and Daniel Height for the Public Works Department. And approve the claims report. I have a motion, someone. Nick and Jody. Any discussion? I don't have anything. Hearing none, we'll move on for a vote then. Go ahead.
Councilperson Goodweiler.
Yes.
Stillman.
Yes.
Ellison. Yes.
Okay. Let me get this up on there too. First reading, item 1. First reading of amending the Animal Protection and Control, Chapter 55.22, licensing. I need a motion to, did I say first reading? This is the third reading. I need a motion to approve the third reading. Nick? Give me a second.
Sure.
Jordan?
Let's do it.
This is pretty simple. It just allows us to reduce a little waste in the tags. 3-year terms. Use the same tags over and over again. Any other discussion? Okay, we'll vote.
Councilperson Goodweiler.
Yes.
Ellison.
Yes.
Stillman.
Yes. Item 2, second reading of ordinance 771, amending title sewer service charges. Chapter 99.02, rate. Any motion? Nick and Jordan. This is to increase the rates to an additional $2.50 per 1,000 gallons. This year, and the following year, and the year after that, to raise funds for the sewer plant. Okay, let's go.
Councilperson Goodweiler.
Yes.
Ellison.
Yes.
Miller. I'm sorry, Stillman.
Yes.
Mail.
Why is my number on here?
All right, goals and objectives.
Goes right to.
Resolution 1856. Adopting goals and objectives for the city of West Branch, Iowa. I need a motion to approve this resolution.
Sure.
Second, Nick, seconds.
Just one clarification I wanted to make in the staff report. Orange Street between 4th and 5th was mentioned twice. It was mentioned once under the high priority on the staff sheet, and also mentioned on the moderate. Actually, the moderate one was was a mistake. It was actually left over from last year. So it is a high priority. It did get 8 votes. It had 5 votes last year, so there was just a little confusion on putting that onto the new list.
So this kind of becomes our baseline for deciding what to do with our budget.
Yes.
The big winner was downstream flood mitigation. What was our second winner?
Replacement one block seal coat.
One block of seal coat on the east side of town.
And Cedar Johnson Road,
What's with Cedar Johnson Road? What was that?
start following and replacement of it.
Find a way to design it, or, what was it?
Plan funding
Start
strategy.
planning it, improving Cedar Johnson Road. We need to start planning it.
So that'll probably be like a work session, and we'll figure out.
Is that something we put in the budget for
Well,
hiring V&K, or?
that's a possibility. I know we were identifying ECOG to get in their priority list, and they kind of, I think we got some ways to go on that.
Potential funding?
Yeah, I don't want to say it's a slam dunk, because from what I hear, that's usually like a 3-year wait, but
Well, we need 3 years. Okay. So, this pretty much lays it out. I don't know what we'll do for capital improvements projects this next budget cycle, but I think there's 2 big items we could pick on, 1 or 2. Downstream flood mitigation and a couple of those other high priority items. Any other discussion on the goals?
I just want to make sure that, I guess in my opinion, when we're adding other staff members to a department and buying new equipment, then it should be coming out of, it should be planned in their budgets, not coming out of the general fund. This should be something that should be setting aside money for if it's going to take more than one budget year to pay for. Like the fire department does for fire trucks.
Equipment is what you're probably specifically mentioning or referencing. Budgeting for equipment,
Well, vehicles or
personnel,
large
purchase.
equipment, and
Yeah, I agree.
I thought
if we
that-
add a 5th police officer, or I don't know, I'm just,
I thought that was supposed to be a goal because that, well, and Colton's not here, but like when Colton and I first were on council, like it was a budget, and then things kept getting cut, and so departments were not getting what they needed, what was being like planned for, and now I feel like it's way off track, like they haven't had the opportunity to get it back in their budget because money's being taken.
Well, a water main break here and there, kind of, or a cave in on a storm intake takes away some of the budget for a truck also. I know, a heavy snow year.
what's a heavy snow year in Iowa?
Last year,
That was nothing like the 70s. I hate to tell you. In the 70s, we had 10-foot drifts.
yeah, you're right, I agree with you. Okay, so, where are we? Goals and We have a motion and a second to accept the goals. Resolution 1856. Any other discussion?
I have a question. Can I abstain from this because I wasn't here?
If you abstain, it's not gonna pass. It'll be 2-2.
You don't have to be here as long as you
Well, I don't agree with some of these actually.
are familiar
So I
with.
would say,
You could bring it, if the mayor would like, you could push it back till you have a fourth
till
member here.
Colton gets here.
Okay,
Because if then it passes 3 with one abstention, it would pass. Or you could push it off to the next meeting. That's not a,
yeah, it's not critical right now.
so.
Sorry, just because, I mean, I won't reflect on it in the future, but I would say no because I don't agree with these, but again, I'm not gonna be, I won't impact it.
Okay,
So postpone it until Colton gets
so
here.
right now you would abstain, which it would fail.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you want to rescind your, who made the motion? Nick?
No,
Jody.
Jody.
Jordan seconded.
She can,
It's.
Oh, did I? Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you. All right.
so you can table it the next meeting, or you can wait till later in the agenda.
we'll wait till later in the day, I think.
Okay,
Can't you just move it down?
They
Yeah.
use the same?
Yeah, they use the same.
we'll just bring it back later. Just start like it's a new item.
Okay.
Circle that. Don't let me forget. Okay, we're gonna go on to item 4. Resolution 1855, setting a public hearing for a budget amendment. Give me a motion, someone, then we'll talk about it. Nick? Need a second. Jody? I'm not sure what this is for exactly.
Just putting it in the paper, isn't it?
This is to set a date.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which you have to publish also.
Mm.
Of the next council meeting. Okay. Any other discussion? Okay, we'll vote on that.
I didn't really understand it.
You want to talk about it for a moment?
Huh?
Briefly, yes. It's to, go ahead.
We did not complete some projects last year that we had in our expense budget, capital projects. And so they were deferred till this year. But when we
Fiscal
did,
year?
yeah, in fiscal 20. But because we budgeted for them in fiscal 19 and thought they were going to be completed, we didn't budget anything for some of those projects in 20. And like the park, and the College Street Bridge, we had money budgeted in FY19. We didn't spend, but we're spending it in 20. But we didn't have the dollars
Okay.
in our budget for it. So most of it, not all of it, is in the project funds right now. We have funding for a portion of it.
All but college and,
Yeah, the College Street and Second Street improvements is going to be short.
okay.
But it's done. I'm
That's
confused.
what we did the TIF funding. It's going to be coming in, so we gave ourselves an internal loan to be repaid by the TIF funds that come in. That's what he's kind of talking about.
In our budgeting process, we have to have dollars approved in the budget to be spent. We hadn't put those dollars in our budget yet. This process will do that.
So we have to get the TIF money in
No,
order.
we don't have to get the money in right now. The money for Cubby Park, for instance, we have over $500,000 in there, but we had $0 budgeted in this year because we thought we were going to spend it all last fiscal year. So the money, if we had completed the project, we would have spent the money last year. But because we didn't get it completed, we're spending it this year.
Okay.
And that's what it's all
It
about.
doesn't automatically roll over. You gotta,
No, that's correct.
it's not budgeted for this fiscal year.
Okay.
Okay. Right there. Okay, so this whole purpose of tonight was to set a date for this public hearing, which will be the next council meeting. And we can talk about it some more then. And then it'll be an actual resolution then
Yes, that's correct.
to amend it. Okay, do I get a motion?
Yes.
Sweet.
Right.
Okay, let's vote.
Councilperson Goodweiler?
Yes.
Stillman?
Yeah,
Miller?
Yes.
Ellison?
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna back up to, item 3,
We won something.
since you weren't here,
Okay,
on item adopting the goals.
okay.
We have a motion and a second to approve the, resolution.
Well, want to redo your motion since you took them off.
You wanna give me a motion, Jody, again?
For 3.
sure.
And the second by Nick. Jordan said she was going to abstain, and since we only have 3 of them here,
Oh,
it would
okay.
fail.
Okay.
So,
Are you playing Frogger?
that's
over
where you
there?
come
Let's
in.
go.
That does sound like Roger.
Pretty good at it.
Yeah, he is good. Either that or Cubert.
Oh my gosh, that's old school.
How do you make it stop?
Turn the sound down.
I'll let you catch up. Okay, so, we got a motion and a second to approve the goals, the resolution 1856. We talked about it briefly. You got anything you wanna bring up? Is that a no? Okay. So, then we can vote. Leslie?
Councilperson Stillman?
Yes,
Goodweiler?
Yes.
Ellison?
Same.
And Miller?
Yes.
Okay, it passes. Item 5, discussion and protocol for hiring part-time, seasonal, and temporary employees.
Okay. So this is a discussion. We typically, when we have seasonal hires, usually in Parks Department, and just recently in Public Works, we've been bringing them forward and putting them on the consent agenda. But we really don't know why we've been doing that outside of that's what we've been doing. So I guess I wanted to kind of revisit, is that something that council wants us to continue to do, particularly in positions that have already been budgeted for and they're part-time positions? Is that something that council still would like to see? I really haven't seen, unless it's a brand new unbudgeted position, I haven't really seen a lot of previous experiences of bringing these type of things before council.
I don't think we ever denied anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have.
No, you're right. Yeah, I don't think
It
that's.
might just impair the ability to hire the person earlier if you wait.
You have to wait 2
sometimes.
weeks or
Yeah.
a month.
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm on the fence. It's nice for us to know. Sometimes this is the only way we know that we're getting someone. Otherwise, I think internally it can be handled pretty well,
I
so.
don't care as long as it comes out of their budget.
I mean,
If they've got it budgeted, then yeah.
Yeah,
Guess maybe
yeah.
just after.
If
we
it's not
hire-
budgeted,
it's not budgeted, they'll have to.
I can always update in a manager's report or something like that, but if it's unbudgeted, then that's a whole different
Yeah,
ballgame.
that's
Or if
different.
it's a director position or something, a higher consequence, it would obviously make sense.
My question is, are we formally posting these jobs, or are we just deciding we wanna?
No, we're probably,
They were advertised.
yeah, and interview through selection committees or stuff, hiring processes. Yeah,
Good.
yeah.
I guess I have faith in our managers that they're doing a fine job, so we don't need to approve it if that's what you're looking for.
Yeah, I could just make sure that you're updated on our decisions, but something like that just kind of seemed like it was a little overkill.
This is seasonal, part-time, and temporary.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Discussion? All right. Item 6, all right, Needham Park, or Cubby Park time. Still Needham Park. Maybe that'll change tonight.
slip.
Another 20 minutes. Resolution 1857, approving a partial pay estimate, number 13, in the amount of $3,143.12 to Needham Excavating for the Cubby Park Improvement Project. Give me a motion, someone we can chat about. Nick? A second. Colton. All right, this is for a little bit of grass seeding over the pipeline, which didn't get done the first time. Go ahead. And I think the insect screen.
Yes, and those should be the only two items on that pay estimate. So that would cover all the remaining bid items that were left to be paid, owed to the contractor.
So does our light issue come up on your list?
This is the final payment of, that's not retainage.
Correct. We call it the semi-final pay estimate.
Yeah.
During the retainage.
Okay. Any other questions, discussion?
So, I do have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So, if I agree to pay this on item number 8, I don't have to agree to accept, do I?
Correct. You don't have to agree to accept it now.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
so, did I get a motion? Yes, I did. We have a motion to approve the partial pay estimate. Any other discussion? Okay, Leslie, let's vote.
Councilperson Goodweiler?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Ellison?
Yes.
Stulman?
Yes.
Okay, this one's a little, Resolution 1858, approving change order number 10 in the amount of somewhere between $5,625 and $9,625. Is that how I can
It's
say that?
a deduction, yep.
Which is a
we're
deduction.
We're assessing.
To be
liquidity.
withheld from the project retainage for liquidated damages and expenses related to Cubby Park project. So let me get a motion and we'll talk about this. Jody. Nick. So the $5,625 is, it's easy, $750 a day. Or
For 7.5
7.5 days. That's easy.
Yep.
The other $4,000 is, or up to $4,000, is what we would be paying Fair Graham as part, due to the overages. So they've made extra visits. If we're gonna pay them for that, well, we're claiming liquidated damages for whatever they're gonna bill us. That's why that's why it's a range, there's a $4,000 not to
Potential
exceed.
bill. Right.
Does that make any sense? Did I explain that right or not?
So if this was to be concluded tonight, we'll be at the $1,500 level,
Just under that. Yeah.
just under that. If this, for any reason, has to continue on, then there would be,
If they need extra time, if they're gonna spend extra time there,
Yeah.
they're gonna bill us.
yes.
we need to have, this allows us to, by resolution, withhold from the retainage.
Yeah. So there's a pass-through cost, whatever that cost winds up being, up to $4,000, we're passing that through.
Are we gonna know that in the next 30 days?
Potentially.
We have to,
You have to
because we
pay,
gotta pay that out in 30 days.
If we accept, like, so yeah, when we accept, there's the 30 days starts clicking. But that's assuming that we accept tonight.
Okay.
if you don't accept tonight, you're gonna have to accept the next meeting, or you're gonna start, you could start incurring interest. If you're not paying up, or, you know, if they're not fulfilling the part of the contract that we're, under Iowa law, if it's ready to be accepted, or ready for something to be paid and you don't do it within 30 days, you can be charged interest. Otherwise known as they have good lobbyists.
What is it, 130,000, the retainage?
136,000 and change.
So, but this item right here is just, allows us to, withhold,
We're gonna assess them in damages.
yes. I think it's due. We're due that. I wish it were more, but this is
Yeah.
what it is. Pardon?
In the scheme of it.
Okay, any other discussion? Okay, let's vote, Leslie, on this resolution 1858.
Councilperson Stulman?
Yes.
Goodweiler?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Ellison?
Yes.
All right, resolution 1859. Accepting the public improvements constructed in association with Covey Park project. Give me a motion, someone, and then we'll chat about it. Colton,
I'm sorry.
Jordan. So what's this entail?
I can, basically you're accept, under Iowa, the bidding law, this acceptance accepts the project, starts once you accept it, the 2-year maintenance, is this a bond for this, or is it just a 2-year warranty period?
It's a maintenance bond.
Okay, so once you accept it, the 2-year bond for the improvement starts on the date of acceptance. And then it also starts the 30 days ticking on the retainage to be paid. So remember, the purpose of the retainage is to ensure that subcontractors get paid. You cannot file a mechanics lien against a public project. So if a sub was not paid by Needham, then they could make a claim against the retainage and collect money out of, or we'd hold double the amount back to before, and then basically it's a way to ensure that the subs all get paid
So
also.
subs have 30 days to just
Subs have 30 days to make
find
a
out we
claim,
pass this tonight?
and make a claim that make a claim that they haven't been paid. Under Iowa law also, if Needham gets paid and they don't pay their subs within 30 days, they can be assessed interest. So it's the same way for the subs too, so.
Can I ask a question? What are you referring to when you say sub?
Subcontractors.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
So the onus is on the subcontractors to discover that we've accepted this tonight?
Well, I mean, in theory, most of them have probably been paid in full, and they will usually, if there's a problem, they know the protocol, so.
I don't know of any, but I just.
I mean, we probably would have heard by now if there was a sub that hadn't been paid, so. But that's the purpose of the retainage, for holding it for 30 days.
Okay,
So that this starts the, like I said, starts the maintenance bond period, and if for some reason they don't come back and fix something in the 2 years after we've asked them to fix it, we can talk to their bonding company, and they don't like.
okay, Nate, so what is covered in the 2-year warranty period? Grass.
Theoretically, the entire
Is
project.
that it? Building?
The building, the pavement, the sewers, the water,
There.
hydrants, theoretically the entire project. All the playground equipment, the only thing that would not be would be consumables. And I'm trying to think if we have any consumables, that would be things like furnace filters, but there is no furnace.
Light bulbs,
Light bulbs would be one.
including the fields.
Who,
Those do have a 25-year warranty on them, though.
who determines how picky we can be on, say, cracked pavement or
It's claimed,
weeds and grass and stuff like that? Is that you? Your firm? Is there a
At
suit
this point,
out?
it's the city, at this point, it's the city who takes the, I mean, we probably ask. You know, you can't, you have to be reasonable about it. You can't say, oh, I see a little crack here, I'm gonna.
it's defects against materials and workmanship is what that's intended to cover. So if there was
Break
We
an
had a-
irrigation line.
a minor
Caused by
earthquake that
them.
caused pavement cracking,
Yeah.
that wouldn't necessarily be something.
So like if the ground washes out from underneath the concrete, then within 2 years, then we can go back on them.
Theoretically, unless it's determined to be an act of God or something like that.
Rainwater.
More rain. Well, but the way the base is set up, the base is set up to handle those situations.
Correct.
So
what's this bond thing?
So a maintenance bond is, so basically, the city can, the maintenance bond is in favor of the city who paid for the contract in the amount of whatever the total amount is, $2,900,000. So anytime that 2-year period, if they don't come, so what you usually do first is you say, okay, these weren't, I mean, there'll probably be some trees that die and stuff that they have to come back and fix in the spring or whatever like that. You can say, you gotta come back and fix these, and if you don't, I can write a letter to the bonding company and make a claim to them, which usually the contractors, that is a bad thing for them, because to do any public projects, you have to be able to secure bonds, and if you have claims against your bonds, then you're gonna have a hard time getting bonding for the next public project you do. So having a bond is way better than having just a warranty. Because warranty, you'd have to sue under the contract, but having a bond, you still have to sue, but the bonding company is a lot more, there's a third party involved that will, so we are the beneficiary of the bond. So if we have to go out and fix something, we can make a claim against the bond and no, it's just out of the
Do we go out and fix it, or we do give them the best chance to fix
you
it?
always, I don't know if there's anything to specs. Usually you give them, you say, we got these items that need to be, if you give them like 30 days to go fix it, and if they don't fix it or they ignore you, then you usually write them and say, if you don't get, you say, we'll call your bonding company. That usually gets their attention.
There are terms
Yeah.
that you do have to follow. You do have to communicate to them and give them an opportunity to do that, and there are set timelines within those rules.
Can we communicate directly with them now, if this is accepted, or do we have gotta get you involved?
Typically, it would go through the engineer, but you can operate outside of
You're
us.
going to ask him what the spec was because they spec'd it out, and they'll make a determination of, is
And
this
he's gonna
a
bill
problem?
us.
But if you build, I mean, it's still
Wouldn't be any different
it's
if we
still
went
a
through
product.
Dave.
That's still their deal if they.
So
Okay.
let me ask this, what's the difference if we accept it today or if we accept it late April to see if the grass is actually going to come back?
The project's ready to be accepted. You can't just hold it off to make the bond go farther out. That's when the interest could start kicking in.
That's when the warranty is.
Ever seen anybody maintenance bond grass before?
Warranties on growing products those are the most claimed. Those are the most things that have warranty issues are the grass and trees and bushes and stuff like that.
There's just very, very little between those two diamonds.
Very well.
Grass.
Grass.
Between those back two diamonds. By the duck, right off the sidewalk.
Very
There's-
little grass.
Yeah, very
I know.
little grass.
I know.
Very, very little
Well,
grass.
we're gonna give them the best chance, to make it good, still. I think we'll be on them in the April and May. I, for one, think we should accept it and get on with it, and, get on with it. It's time to move on. Let's start taking care of it and do our best shot, and call them if, grass doesn't come back.
I have a question. So our biggest sticking point besides what's taking so long is the grass, correct? Yeah. What did you put down there off of,
Downey,
yeah,
just a bluegrass, sunshade.
well, you ought to plant grass for Needham. Cause that looks pretty good and that was done late, real late.
I think with the matting, it helps a lot. I don't know, I prefer that matting down where stuff goes moisture.
Bridge grass.
So if worse comes to worse, we got somebody who knows how to grow grass.
Yep, he works
Yeah,
for
but-
weeks ago.
Yeah, but in May and June, that's gonna be our heavy traffic dates. That's when you want the grass, that's when it's gonna start growing. So how are we gonna keep the kids off of this to let it grow?
You have to rope it all
But
off.
Jody, how is us not accepting it at this point in time going to fix that issue?
It's not gonna fix it, because this whole thing, it's a year late, and all we're getting out of it is possibly $4,000–$5,000 a year.
But you can't,
You got a warranty, though.
under Iowa law, you can't just assess liquidated damages without damage being suffered. You can't say, collect $300,000 and you suffered $4,000 in damages. That's a penalty. It's not a legal contract.
But the reason why we didn't accept it back in June and July is because of the grass. So now, all of a sudden, we're gonna accept it now because there's 5 little sprouts coming up 2 months ago.
We're gonna have to accept a
This
project.
is the
we're gonna
first
have to
meeting we've
accept
had
the
up,
draft.
everything actually paid, everything done and paid off too.
Correct.
That's true. Yeah.
They might have wanted to accept it back then, but
Yeah.
we didn't accept it until everything was done, and the last pay estimate we did, number 13, was the final items to be done.
I just have a real hard time trusting a company that took a year longer than what it should have, what the contract was for, trusting them that if there is something that needs fixed, that they're going to come back and fix it. I have a real hard time.
Yeah,
Well, if they don't, we go after their maintenance bond, and that is bad news for a contractor, I
Sounds
can
like-
guarantee you that.
sounds like we have more leverage to accept it than we do to not.
I would like to have maybe some bids in place from some landscaping companies to reseed it. If it doesn't come up in April.
But they just got
We don't
done
wanna wait
saying
till
that
May,
you have
June,
to give
or
them
May or
a
June
chance
to
first.
reseed it.
Yeah, it's gotta be April.
You have to give
We
them
could
a
have some
chance
bids
to
in place
do
and
it
ready to
first.
go. If we don't see decent progress by the end of April, or,
And as long as it takes them, it might be July or August before they get to it.
well, that's when we move in and we hire someone to do it.
And
or
then
if
we
they
get stuck
don't-
paying it.
Yeah, no, we can
So we
do
make a
that.
claim against their bond.
Yeah.
I mean,
Most
whatever
contractors,
it
what they'll
costs.
do, if they're reputable contractors, they'll come back and they will redo whatever.
Okay,
needs to be done.
So whatever it costs us, we can access against the maintenance bond.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if we cost us 40,
We just
can
need to-
access it against the
let's
bond.
accept it and move on. That's what I'm ready to do.
Yeah. I mean, we have more leverage with the maintenance bond, I think, than we do now.
Maybe we will,
I mean, technically, I guess we kinda have to.
correct.
You could wait one more meeting.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't go after that.
Yeah. So as long as you get interest.
Let's just do it now.
What do we accomplish by waiting?
Nothing. Okay, any other discussion? Okay, let's vote, Leslie.
Councilperson Miller,
Yes.
Ellison,
Yes.
Stulman,
No,
Goodweiler?
Yes.
Okay, motion passes to accept Cubby Park. Item 9, Resolution 1860, approving the final pay estimate number 14 in the amount of $136,284.60. This is the retainage to Needham Excavating for Cubby Park Improvement Project. So we have to, give me a motion, someone. Nick and Jordan. We have to approve this tonight?
So what happens is under Iowa law, you release it after the 31st day, which never ends up on a council date. So you don't come, so what happens is if there's no claims made, less the liquidated damages, you release the retainage out.
Is this amount the less the liquidated damages?
Correct.
Plus the 5,625.
Well, where's the other 1,500 to 4,000
Yeah.
gonna fit in?
Well, if everything is accepted tonight and our contract is done, unless there's anything that would come back with the maintenance bond or anything like that, that we would get called back, we don't have any more bills. This would satisfy our contract, and the
Okay.
$1,475.75 would, I think that's what our bill was, or that we're asking for extra right now. That's it. And that's even yet to be determined. That's the next item.
Okay, but the 5,625 is $750 a day.
That's all that is, correct. And that is deducted, so that retainage, that $136,284.60 is less the $5,625. But that's all.
Are we allowed, if we pass this, are we allowed to deduct what your final bill will be?
No, so what liquidated damages are, you use your liquidated damages to pay for your damages. So in theory, you take the 5625 and you deduct the whatever your bill is, 1475, 1500. And in theory, the contractors agreed for us to keep the rest of the money. They signed the change order on the 5625. So then that ends this, and there's no more bills from them. So then this would close the project out, except for paying for the retainage. And 1861 is just paying for up not to exceed $4,000. But
That was the only reason I put the 4,000 on our amendment request, was in case it was not approved tonight and this got dragged out another 4 or 6 months.
so
I'm still fuzzy on where your $1,500.
it
It's
comes,
gonna
it
come out of the
comes
5,000.
out of the 5,625.
Oh,
That's
the
already been.
liquidated damages, so we can't
All right.
say that we have the
It would have
damages
to be in
in them.
addition to this. is
I
what
thought
you're
that was only the
Yeah.
Liquidated
750 per
damages
day.
pay for your damages. So if for some reason they had 12,000, the liquidated damages would be 12.
All right.
We could pay up to. In theory, you're not supposed to be getting a windfall from liquidated damages. You're supposed to pay for damages that you have incurred.
Sure. I get it now.
So why wouldn't you add it?
Because
If it's 7.5 days.
okay, so your 5625, the only damages you sustained are $1,500 from Fair Graham. Inconvenience to the public is, by the Iowa Supreme Court, is not a damage you can calculate for liquidated damages. So what have we? There's no more bills that we've incurred.
So are they gonna come back for the 40?
No, they signed the 5625.
That's in the contract, so.
So they
they
signed.
agreed
They,
to
So it's
that.
not like-
they're not coming back for the rest of it.
Okay. That was my concern, is if it's only 1,400, are they gonna come back for the rest of it?
No.
Well, there's been no more than that, because, I mean, we've been sitting here talking about this project that was supposed to be done for a year.
I understand, but that's
We all get paid.
I understand, but that's not a compensable item either. That's why contractors don't necessarily get done on time, because they know they're only gonna be assessed damages that actually get incurred.
Okay. So about the light issue, did we,
So the one thing with go ahead and say that before we say
okay.
the retainage out.
So, the lighting that's supposed to go across the building on the face of the pavilion, it doesn't go all the way across. There's a section that looks like it is missing a light, or it's not going all the way across. There's a box, a black box in the middle of the thing. So I'm assuming a light's gonna have to be put in another section. I don't know what that's going to be as far as electrician or whatever is going to be needed. I know you were, I just told you
I
about
was
it
not
tonight,
able,
so
yeah,
don't
I
know.
was not able to get any, Kyle did not respond, so.
So here's, oh, go ahead, Colton.
Shouldn't this been brought up before we accepted the project?
No, he asked me and I said to do it in the retainage part. So Redmond did ask me and I'm the one who said we should do it in this part.
Black
So-
box is something is there, physically there, or just a.
It's either
A
a,
light bulb in.
it could be a bulb, burn,
Yeah,
an LED.
I just
I don't know
noticed
if
it
you- I
tonight,
don't know if you
and
meant like a
I
physical
couldn't get
box or
inside
just a
there to
black.
figure out why that was.
I wonder if it was like a junction box. Like a physical black box or just a hole.
It almost,
There's supposed to be a light fixture behind there, I believe.
yeah, it
There's
almost
either
like
not a
there's
light
a wall
fixture
that
there
goes
or
up
it's
to
a
the
burned out
roof,
bulb.
and then there's another wall, and
I haven't seen
ambient
it.
light can't get into the
So
little.
it looks, so the square itself is dark.
Yeah.
Okay. That's not like it's an actual
So what I
junction box.
would suggest for the resolution is we accept this, they have 30 days to fix it, and if they don't have it fixed, we'll just do it ourselves and deduct that from the retainage on top of that. By that time, we can figure out what the problem is. If it's a bulb or something, that's easy to fix. But so what I'd say is we accept the 136,284.60 less the fixing that problem if it hasn't been fixed within 30 days.
Okay, do we need to put that in the part of the motion, or?
We can, did you have a motion already?
Thanks.
Yes, you have a motion, Goodweiler and Ellison.
So whoever, if that's okay, Nick, we can put that in there.
Yeah, we'll amend it.
Say that again.
So it's gonna be 136,284.60,
Yep,
but if the light is not fixed by the time the 30 days is up, then we will also deduct the cost to get that item fixed and just
Okay.
pay the rest of that out then, whatever's left.
Okay with that? Motion in a second. Okay, do it that way.
Yep.
All right. Then I think we should approve this final pay estimate. Any other discussion? Okay, Leslie.
Councilperson Goodweiler?
Yes.
Ellison?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Stulman?
Yes. All right. Last, Resolution 1861, amendment to the professional services agreement with Fair Graham in an amount not to exceed $4,000. Do we need to do this now?
That,
We do?
Now that we've
that's
got-
what I'm asking for, is we've already incurred that 1,475.75 in additional work that we've done to get us to this point.
All right. Give me a motion, a motion, please, Nick, and Jordan will second.
So we have to pass it to pay your 1,500.
Yes, we do.
Well, then can we amend it to 1,500? I mean, why are we gonna okay them up to 4,000? We don't even have the means to pay it now.
Because we didn't put it in the retainage.
But that's why the 4,000 was lower than the 5625. We're not asking for all of the retainage by any means. The city would still have at least that much left over. If you wanted to amend that tonight, and we wanted to amend it to the $1,475.75, you've approved everything else tonight, I'm okay with that. Because this effectively satisfies our contract. I owe some record drawings to you, which I can send a PDF tomorrow. I'll call the contractor. I'm not gonna send a bill for that. Let him know about the 30 days to get that dark spot fixed. But that would be the end. If this would effectively end our contract with the city. So I'm okay with that. If you want to amend that to the
It's awful
1,000,
quick to say that.
I have,
It's been a long project, man.
We won't incur any more costs from the 30 days for the light, will we?
I feel like we just might need it for something, then we gotta.
That's
do
the
something
light is like a
different.
bug screen. Hold on.
At that point, we're taking over then.
That's true.
it's up to you.
We don't have to
Oasis
wait.
Electric would
We
go
don't have
out
to go
there
through
and
him on the light.
It's not gonna cost us any more to approve this as is.
All right,
Yeah.
good.
I could take over.
You think it will?
They can talk to me.
I leave it as is. Okay, so we got a motion to approve, the amended professional services not to exceed 4,000. Let's vote.
Councilperson Goodweiler?
Yes.
Ellison?
Yes.
Stulman?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
All right. Covey Park.
Thank you very much.
2 years later.
Yeah, so that's wrapped up in for 2 years.
big old target with the arrows coming in.
City administrator.
Wow. It's that time. Okay. Baldrige and Environmental, we hired them to kind of do a pilot project for us to help us with our sludge in the lagoons. They've gotten really positive results. They plan on presenting those to us next cycle. So I don't want to build up too many hopes, but it looks really good, and that's,
Microbugs.
so that's what he'll be talking about. Cow Street Bridge is done. Now Covey Park looks like it's done. Outside of a little light issue.
Little light issue.
Little light issue.
Little lights is done too.
Yeah. I think so. I still haven't seen a maintenance agreement on the parking lot though.
Okay, well.
Okay, so me and Gordon just came back from budget training and learned a little bit about this new additional step in our budget process that we're going to be taking called a max levy resolution that's going to have to be publicly noticed and approved before we approve our budget, which is submitted on March 31st. So we got a couple more days added to our budget process. Hopefully that we'll be able to manage this. And the way this, essentially works in its most simplest version, we have to, based on early estimates, kind of guesstimate what our max levy would be, and then actually have that publicly noticed and then approved by resolution. So it's recommended that we try and do that in January so that when final budget numbers come in or get a little bit more realized, should we have misguessed or anything, we still have enough time before our normal budget has to be a resolution, needs to be publicly noticed and then approved by resolution by the 31st. We still have to be able to do that before that. So we can't wait. Some people talked about trying to do it all in the same evening. The problem is if there's anything wrong, then you're stuck. And then if you don't get it in by the deadline, then the state comes down with you, which could be bad.
So what you're saying is we're gonna pick an estimated absolute maximum levy. Does this have anything to do with the 2% increase that was passed a year ago?
Well,
Is that what this is?
I think there's extra steps that you have to go through if you want a max levy that's above 2%. But I don't think we'll have to be guesstimating that far because we're pretty much in a stable position. But that's a potential that some people they could see a budget issue coming up and they don't really know how bad it is, like we might have been faced a couple of years back, and so it gets a little tricky on that. But I think we're still trying to get our handle on all the ins and outs, but we just wanted to kind of prepare you that our our process is going to be a little different because we got to make room for this in it.
This is a public hearing?
it will be an additional public hearing than what we had done last year. Okay. All right, so hopefully that's as clear as mud. I know, Mary, you talked about maybe some of our legislators coming in and visiting with us and maybe what some of the issues are that we want to bring up to them. I definitely talked about the way that we use road tax and sidewalks being an issue for us. The Iowa Association of Council of Governments have also been pushing land banks as a way to get land that's underused or even nuisance back on the rolls and collecting tax dollars. So that's another thing that we could talk about. If they reach out to you, those are two things that we would like to talk about. It's official, got a GoFundMe site set up for Splash Pad. So got a little link where you can go if you want to donate to that cause. I'm still working on the nuisance enforcement letters, so I'm going to be working on that this week, get those things going. And I'm going to be tossing around our new garbage renewal process. Kevin's got me some RFP information that I haven't really been able to look at yet, but I'm going to start getting that because we have our renewal coming up in July. So it's the time to kind of start that ball rolling. And then later on this week, I'll be meeting with ECIA probably on two things. Want to talk to them about the Catalyst grant, which is a $100,000 grant that goes towards downtown structures and rehabbing buildings and things of that nature that supposedly would be a catalyst for other economic development. And so I also have the pre-application process, application process. So if we're interested in that, we probably have to get going on the pre-application process because it's due on the 31st of January. So if we're going to do that, I definitely would need their help. And then also, I'll be talking about the Great Places and the two projects there, Splash Pad and digital kiosk idea. So both of those I'll be chatting on the 5th, this Thursday, with them. I think that's it.
So the Great Places, which way they will apply for a grant for once again?
Yeah, so this will be our last go at it on our Great Places because the designation that we received was a 3-year designation. And that puts us on a short list. We still have to compete for a grant.
So the current ideas are this kiosk idea in each town,
Yes,
or the splash pad idea
yes,
in each town.
yes.
Is that a preference on that? Splash pad?
We like Splash Pad. We do any way we can help pay for a Splash Pad.
Yes.
Is welcome.
Okay.
Yes.
How does that GoFundMe money work?
So,
As far as the
Oh,
city,
that's Carson King.
well, that's a private individual. I didn't know how it worked for a city, so like,
Oh,
if they put money in the GoFundMe, does that go into a separate account? Does it go
Attached
into the
deductible?
general, you know what I mean?
well, it's set up like a nonprofit would. So, yeah, it would be a separate account. I don't even know how fast they would even release it to us.
Yeah, I don't either. I was
Because
just more
kind of
curious.
held at the GoFundMe place until you get up to the level of actually achieving the goal, and then they take like a 3% or something, kind of like a finder fee off of that, and then you get the money, and then that would go into like an enterprise account for us for the splash pad. And we do have a fund set up there. It's just nothing in it.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I wanted to
Yeah.
think, that it wasn't like it was, somebody put $100 in, that we would just be like $100 to
Question,
general fund. I
Yeah.
was just curious before.
what is a splash pad?
I'll explain it to you later, man.
I was gonna draw pictures like this, but water shoots up and kids run underneath it like a fancy sprinkler.
I have questions.
Okay, Kevin? Nothing.
Nope. Leslie's making progress on the parking lot for Casey's. Looks like they
Right.
actually told Leslie that they do whatever we want at this point.
They may do a concrete
which they denied the first time.
Concrete parking,
Nice.
since they can't get asphalt,
Yep.
chip and seal at this time of year. So, we'll take it.
Yeah, they just wanna get done.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So they're paying taxes.
City staff, any hearsays? That's what it says here, hearsay. All right, geez, we did pretty good tonight. Any motion to adjourn? Go
I have
ahead.
one question.
Us, what do we got?
One question. The lights on the bridge. Are they gonna turn those on?
Schekinger said something about that, what did he
Sure
say?
did.
Cause I'm getting questions from people because people
Matt
are still
knows.
driving over
Oh,
it
good,
like it's the old bridge.
Yeah,
So they're going still right down the middle
yeah,
because
Oh.
it's dark
and it's.
and you're coming around the
What did he
corner and
say,
all you
Matt?
can see is kind of the railing. So I'm, bother me any, but
I
I
bet
just know
nobody
people have
gets that
asked me
railing.
when the lights are gonna turn on.
We're waiting on Alliant to run service to it,
Okay.
and Oasis has to run from the pole all the way over to the lights and hook it up. It was a separate thing, for
Okay.
whatever reason.
That's fine.
It's
Just
something
a couple people had asked. I figured I'd ask because I kind of wondered once they asked.
We had a interduct put in for all this, and nothing has been disturbed, they just
Okay.
got full wire.
Pull wire. Sorry.
But that's just waiting on their scheduling it.
Anything else from anybody else? There's Christmas Pass this weekend,
What time does it start?
It's at the
Friday
tree.
evening.
5:30 or something?
We're gonna do a Christmas tree lighting at 5:30? 6?
5.
5. I'll be there.
Maybe.
Heritage Square,
Maybe.
right?
Where?
Heritage Square. We can't get lights on the big Christmas tree, it's too soft.
Yeah.
So we're gonna,
There's a tree there?
we're gonna come up with some little trees and put some white lights on them at Heritage Square.
Oh, yeah, probably not.
All right.
5.
So bring your kids out this weekend. The mayor's reading the night before Christmas at 3 o'clock at the old meeting house. So come and listen to me read.
Is it always at 5? I feel like it's kind of early.
Is what at 5?
The lighting, has it always been at 5?
Yeah.
I think so.
It's dark enough.
Stuff kicks off
Yeah.
about
I'm
6.
gonna say people are not off work
Oh, yeah,
to come and see it.
that's a good point.
Guess they'll miss it. They'll be up. Okay, anything else? Motion to adjourn, anyone?
Me.
Jordan and Colton, all those in favor say aye.
Uh,
Aye.